Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Final Fantasy XIII, to another reading section after Chapter 6 in the Sunlit Waterscape with me, Zauberhaft. Oh yeah, this entire section is going to be devoted to the reading and recapping of the events of the 6th chapter, and I hope that my cat doesn't spoil the pleasure for us all. So I will just have to get a pause for a second just to comfort her should she wake up, and she's so peacefully sleeping nearby on a sofa that I'm not daring to ever disturb her. So yeah, since we are in here with Vanille, our tiny lady, we can as well try to view everything we have in terms of data log right now. Starting as usual with the events, and we got chapter 6, not that much technically because I feel like this chapter hasn't been that long. Normally I could basically finish it off in 2 videos, but I chose to make a third one just to show some of the monster battles to you, and that wasn't devoted to any story of a sort. So we are going right here, a wish for a daddy. Or for the daddy. No. What's the purpose of article here anyway? Let's plunge into this right away. So, Saz and Vanille make their way through Sunlit Waterscape, trying to distance themselves from the Sanctum forces assembling in the city of Palimpolum. Oh yeah, this is gonna be sweet once we get to Palimpolum part. Vanille's offhand question about family fills Saz's head with memories of his son, Daj. Oh yeah, this has nothing much to comment on this time around. It's just a straightforward recap. Nice that I can read that after such a long period of break between the previous videos and in this session. So yeah, it's really good for me to like refresh the information, even though I kind of seem to be remembering everything right now. As fireworks illuminated the night sky with brilliant color, Daj had made a wish out of concern for his dad. Oh yeah, he said he had wished for Saz to smile again. Touched by the inside of his little boy, Saz did smile, pretending to be cheerful. He was pretending, right? That was really nice pretense, anyway, and kind of natural as well, even though we all know it wasn't, because judging by the appearance of that lady at the background, now that I see it, knowing everything I know right now, this lady had something to do, like, she wasn't any relative to Saz or Daj. She was someone else. So let's just, I don't know who exactly that lady was, but she seemed to be an obstacle for the happiness of Saz and Daj. Anyway, for their happy family future, if any family, Saz could potentially find a woman or something. I don't know. He could have had a family, and Saz probably could. A lot of hopes for the future, but they are not destined for that. They are not chosen to be happy in such a way. Maybe in a different way after, you know, somehow lifting that Lassie curse, even though according to that game it seems impossible. Okay, what do we stopped at? Yeah, he pretended to be cheerful, but all the while an unbearable pain gnawed at his soul. Wow, such a word choice here. This pain plagues him even now. But what is the reason for Saz's misery? And who is the enigmatic woman with a more than passing interest in the boy and his father? Yeah, we don't know yet. And I don't know yet. She definitely had some interest in those. That's a good choice for this, good word to explain, but I know for sure she's in no relation to them, so it makes me furthermore curious. Father and son. Well, that is supposed to be after what we have experienced with that 11th day celebration. With a heavy heart, Saz reveals the fate that has befallen his son Daj. And that is when Pulse Lassie invaders attacked the Foul Sea powering the Uriday Gorge energy plant, it chose the closest human to become its servant and defender, a small boy who had wandered into the facility. Yeah, that's the first question of mine. So either those Foul Sea, being all that omnipotent and omniscient, potentially have no knowledge of human origins and human psychology, human behavior whatsoever. How could a small child possibly defend this being from the attackers? If those attackers had the power to take down a Foul Sea, whoever those were, a child wouldn't have probably done anything against those. Or there is another theory that this Foul Sea actually knew about the upcoming events and he or she exactly knew. Yeah, Carbuncle, probably it's he. I'm not sure the Foul Sea even have genders, but anyway, I'm a Russian person and any word, any noun in Russian language has a gender. It's like our linguistic heritage, so I'm accidentally making those mistakes, trying to, make those frigging English nouns that are devoid of any gender. I mean, impersonal. I mean, not impersonal. What am I talking about? Stop it. Stop it. Stabilize your mind. I'm talking about English common nouns, right? Yeah, non-personal ones. That don't have gender, but in Russian, every single one of them does. So I still tend to be calling in those gender distinction features anytime I have to resort to pronouns, right? Bad thing of mine. Okay, I'll try to, mind my structures. So, the other theory is that Foul Sea is so omniscient that it knew beforehand, normally it's it, right? What would happen, and nevertheless it decided to choose a child to be a Lassie. Oh, there is a third theory that those Foul Sea actually don't care for humans one bit. What's the purpose of supporting those humans then, if they actually care? They support humans with food and with everything, but that were the questions of mine all along, so I am eager to receive those damn answers, and I guess as well as all the people who are watching this and haven't still played that game and just merely interested in the story. Okay. Now, a Sanctum Lassie with the ability to sense the presence of Pulsian energies, Daj has been held in custody and monitored by government officials ever since. So, or probably otherwise, that Foul Sea deliberately turned the child into such a being that can sense Pulsian energies, just because it knew the child would end up in the government hands, in the officials' hands, and that will subsequently help the actual official government track down anything Pulsian. So that probably was the idea of that Foul Sea. That's like superficial. It's on the surface. So there is supposed to be something behind that. I just feel it. I feel it with my butt. So it is thanks to Daj's unique ability that Psycon was able to discover the Pulse Foul Sea in Bodom. Yeah, this is how this twisting story is. However, with his exact focus yet to be determined, the boy is doomed to become a Seath. Not exactly Seath. What if he becomes a crystal? Why XIII exactly? This is what prompted Saz to board the purge train, guessing that Dadge's focus might be to destroy the Pulse Fal'Cie. Oh, quite reasonable thing. I mean, there being nothing else to think about, Saz just decided to pursue one soul thing he could think of, right? Saz sees the only means available to him to reach the accursed creature before it could be carried to the world below. Actually, it wasn't supposed to be carried to the world below. Something even more disturbing that Saz didn't know at that point. He didn't even know that they were to destroy the entire vestige, right? They were not even going to go all the way to Pulse, come on. No one is authorized to go to Pulse, even for such purposes, even for disposing the litter and something like that. They just dump it all in the wasteland over there from Chapter 4. Anyway, so forget it, Saz. You've done the right thing, I guess. If he could slay it somehow, he reasoned, he might just be able to save his son. Well, I'm not sure, since the son was turned into a l'Cie by another Fal'Cie that had nothing literally to do with the Fal'Cie they have found in a vestige, so that probably couldn't have changed anything. The best thing that could happen to his son under that circumstance is probably turning into a crystal. This is the goal that Saz pursued, I guess, because there is no known way to remove the l'Cie brand, as far as I know. Well, at least for now. Maybe something will get revealed in the future that I have no idea about. So, now that the Pulse Fal'Cie is no more, has Dadge gone through the same crystal transformation as Sarah? I think he hasn't. Something tells me. Otherwise they wouldn't have told us about that dodge thing. It should, like, unravel still. There is no point in speaking about all this if this storyline has already ended before. We're still... I think we'll still get some information about Saz and Dadge. And this is just a mere beginning, I guess. Or was his focus not to rid the world of the Fal'Cie, but of the l'Cie servants it created? Pretty possible, since we know that the death of the Fal'Cie does not save any l'Cie from their curse. So, killing a Fal'Cie is not the method. You will remain a l'Cie. All right, if that is the case, then Saz and his companions must die to spare Dadge a fate worse than death. Becoming a XIII, you won't feel anything probably because you're undead, or becoming a crystal, you won't feel anything because you are crystallized. Or they actually say that XIII do feel something. That is endless pain and futility of their existence, something like that. It's pretty a terrible fate, so it's better not to feel anything than that. Or probably crystals do feel something as well. I guess it doesn't really matter, but since it's the only thing that does... I mean, since it is the only thing that remains for both XIII and crystal things, so I guess this is the only thing to be concerned with anyway. So, we got the 13 days here. The contact in day 5. This is what happened in Uriday Gorge, when the officials have found Dadge branded by the Fal'Cie. So Saz took his son to the Uriday Gorge energy plant after Dadge begged to see one of the Sanctum Fal'Cie. Oh my god, I have passed my comments a lot upon this. If those Fal'Cie are capable of branding every single human being, or any single human being, as l'Cie, it's better to, well, not to go anywhere near them, I guess. Because they potentially can, someday, for some reason we don't even know. but we're not supposed to know. They know better, probably. I would refrain from even looking at one of them, because they're potentially dangerous, and that's it, irrespective of them being actually Sanctum ones or Pulse ones. Especially if the two fal'Cie varieties are at war with each other for some reason. I think no way. While Saz was busy buying a chocobo chick at the souvenir shop, the little boy ran off into the plant alone. Oh yeah, just because Saz decided to make a surprise for the boy, I guess. Just because of this wish Saz experienced, he gave the boy the opportunity to actually sneak into the plant. One mistake you make, and this shit happens. Yep, I deliberately used that word because, I mean, hey, what is the situation anyway? SHIT. Thanks very much. Your son is branded and doomed forever. Moments later, a strange phenomenon rocked the building. When the panicked father rushed inside, he found his son unconscious, lying on the bench. The energy plant fal'Cie Kujata had branded Dodge with a mark of a Sanctum l'Cie. Oh my god, so sad. Anyway, he's a Sanctum l'Cie right now. He's a hero, but being a hero is sad. If you ever thought of that, it's not that epic being exposed to challenges like that, if that was reality. Fantasy worlds are okay, but in real life, no way. Save me that fate. I don't really want to be part of this, if I have the choice, of course. After, yeah, what about this? Day 8, questions. So 3 days later, I cannot believe that just 3 days before that, nothing of the sort could have been predicted. But one day they wander into Uriday Gorge plant, and here we go. After being made into a Sanctum l'Cie, Dodge was taken into custody by PSICOM and subjected to a battery of tests. No wonder. I guess they are eager to reveal any of, scientific truth behind that. I mean, it would be just evident. Even if that was reality, they would have run thousands of tests. Colonel Nabat. Colonel Nabat? Is it that lady? The supervising officer next imparted some unsettling news to Saz. His son had gained the ability to sense presence of pulse beings, but his focus was still unknown. So she told him the truth. Good to know. Without a defined focus, the boy was doomed to become a thief. Could his task be to discover lower world invaders? To destroy them? Saz's mind raced as he tried to figure out a way to save his son. Unfortunately, what I have to say is, I don't think it is within Saz's potential and within his powers to save Dodge, because yeah, he is his father, and who else can possibly save the son if not a father? But Saz is just a human being. Dodge has turned into a l'Cie, so his fate is now in fal'Cie's hands, I guess. Even the bot has nothing to do with that. If the fal'Cie choose to trick her as well, they will. Let's see. Day 11, father and son. Just the very celebration I've been talking about a little bit earlier. Okay. Oh, we got several pages right there. Dodge suddenly decided that he wanted to go to Bodom. Realizing this may be an effect of the boy's new power to detect pulse beings, Colonel Nabat permitted a PSICOM-supervised excursion to the coastal town. Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be a bad idea. So he just experiences wishes or something like that. He doesn't even know that he is somehow linked to Paul's energies. He just experienced childish wishes, and those officials surrounding him, surrounding Dodge, guess for themselves. Oh my goodness, this is supposed to be really kind of oh, this nasty. I cannot say any other word about this. It was the night of the fireworks show, but Saz's mood was not lightened by the beautiful display. The smiling face of his son, oblivious to the fate that awaited him, was more painful than the troubled father could bear. Meanwhile, the SciComm team, scouring the area, discovered the foul sea within the vestige. Dodge must have reacted subconsciously to the presence of the lower world entity. Oh yeah, that of course turned out to be true, and I think it's so poetic. Like, this is the celebration before the nightmare. It's so kind of typical cliche, but at the same time it's so kind of emotionally charged that I don't really want to criticize that. Last celebration, like, feast today, fight tomorrow. And this is exactly what has happened. The next day the entire city was sealed, and the 13th day it was already the massacre, I guess. Oh my god, it's so frigging terrible. Let's see what we have the day 5 and day 8. Do we have day 8? No, there is no second page right there. Do we know any more locales? Uridi Gorge. Okay, so this is where it all happened. It is some kind of plant that transforms the heat energy of lava into electric energy, I guess, with the help of Kujata, the local foul sea. Let's see what it does. So, Uride Gorge is located near the town of Bodum. The area is best known for its energy plant, a facility whose output is generated by the foul sea Kujata. Yeah, basically the same thing that I said. Many school students can be found visiting the plant to learn about the role of foul sea in society, but the gorge also sees a large number of tourists who come to view the spectacular scenery. Well, so there are lots of guys anyway. It's kind of interesting because this place doesn't seem to have anything of interest but the plant. It should have like a small town around it otherwise or something to support that touristic business and students and everything. Probably it has. We don't know the intel pretty much. I guess it does. 8 days prior to the purge, there was an accident or an incident. Yeah, an incident. Let's just call it so. It's a better word for that, as lightning specified. Yeah, there was an incident at the plant involving Pulse Lassie, but the details were suppressed to prevent civilian panic. Yeah. And finally, Nautilus. This is the place where Vanille and Saz are aimed at. They are going right there. For what reason? Just because they want to run from the military forces that are gathering in Palampolum. They're just running, nothing much about it. They're just wasting their time as Lassie, I guess. Centered around the ever-popular Nautilus Park, the City of Dreams is essentially a giant fairground built by Sanctum for the amusement of Cocoon's citizens. Tourists visit from all corners of the world, keeping the city busy and bustling all year round. So this is the only thing we know so far about Nautilus. So it's basically kind of the capital of entertainment. And it does look like it. A lot of lights on this picture, a lot of stuff everywhere around. It looks so picturesque. I kind of cannot wait till I finally get there already. But this is going to be, if memory serves, Chapter 9 or something. Or maybe Chapter 8? Yeah, probably Chapter 8. But I'm not exactly sure. some more intel on Cocoon's society. So, Sanctum L'Cie, the one that Daj has become. So they have different brands I see. It's a sort of a vial or something. Because the Pulse brands seem to be like that pattern on the gate I have seen in the beginning of the game. With lots of arrows and intricate design of lines on it. And this brand seems to be more solid and more exact. Like more... what do we call this? Organized. It looks like the symbol of order, and the Pulse brand with all those arrows much more relates to the common fantasy sign of chaos with arrows aimed at all possible directions. Even though it looks not exactly like the sign of chaos, but yeah, let's just look at it that way, right? Chaos versus order, Pulse versus Cocoon. At that point. Not exactly specifying that chaos is supposed to be evil and order is supposed to be the good. Because both can be both evil and good, in my view. It's just a matter of power organization in them. So, during the War of Transgression, a number of warriors were made into L'Cie to engage the forces of Pulse alongside the Sanctum fal'Cie. Since that time, there is no record of a Cocoon fal'Cie taking a human as a L'Cie. So a lot of time, at least 500 years, passed since that moment. But nevertheless, it has happened anyway. I think people are not threatened for a reason of becoming the fal'Cie, because they're kept being, told about the upcoming Pulse aggression, that Pulse will strike again someday. It's interesting, because they are living in constant threat, and it's been 500 years they have been living in constant threat, being repeatedly sprinkled the words of Pulse aggression on. Yeah. It is possible that there have been unrecorded cases, but even if that is so, any and all accurate information about the nature of Sanctum L'Cie has been lost in the intervening years. Oh yeah, lots of mistakes, but never mind, I guess. Again, so much evidence of the local population being absolutely misinformed and underinformed on the issue. Even Sanctum researchers have been able to achieve no more than speculation. Interesting. So I guess it's all because the fal'Cie are much more interested in actually concealing the information from the population. I guess. So even though the fal'Cie are helping the local people survive, they have something up their sleeves, if they have any sleeves, but they have something that they don't want to tell anyone. They keep their secrets close. And I don't like that. I really smell a rat for some reason. But let's just have a break from our suspicions and read something about chocobos. These large yellow birds are always crowd favorites. Aw, no wonder, they're so cute. Just look at those. Wild chocobos are almost unheard of on Cocoon, but thanks to the antiques of a certain TV program's Feathery, main character, owning chocobo chicks has become the latest fad among children. Aww, I guess, but what happens? They are large, and in their childhood they are normally small, like this small. Look how big they become. It's like the picture shows us little chocobo and the size of a grown-up chocobo. What are they doing when they start to grow up? I mean, I probably could use a crocodile baby in my room over here for a reason, But, you know, what happens if that beastie becomes actually large? It's not like only the problem of feeding it, but it's the problem of actually the creature being potentially dangerous for anyone. Okay. What if it picks someone? I don't think it's a good idea approaching a deranged chocobo. That could be aggressive as well. Even though its normal behavior is not aggressive, I guess, because it's just a fancy, cute bird. But let's just be scientifically truthful, right? The looks of an animal normally doesn't tell anything about its behavior in terms of aggression or it being passive. A lot of brightly colored animals are actually turning out to be aggressive in wildlife. But anyway, it's just a fantasy. Although the tiny chicks are easy to handle when young, their rapid growth as they approach adulthood has forced an increasing number of families to donate their oversized avian pets to zoos and farms. Oh, I see. That's good. That's good that they don't throw them out into the streets just like some irresponsible Russian guys do with dogs and cats. Such a bad thing. But okay, now we know something about Russia as well. That I'm basically complaining about, but nevertheless. We got some intel on Kujata, the Uriday Gorge Foul Sea. Since everything is centered around Uriday Gorge, it's probably good to know. The task of the Sanctum Foul Sea is providing Cocoon with the power its advanced urban population demands. Yeah, electrical power, I guess? I mean, look how much power it emits. Because everything on Cocoon seems shining brightly. A lot of fires, a lot of lamps, a lot of holograms, a lot of stuff. Everything demanding a lot of electrical power, I guess. I mean, it's so brightly colored and... oh my god. That thing must be really powerful anyway. From the plant at Uriday Gorge, it sates the voracious energy appetites of surrounding cities. Well, at least in Bodom, I guess. Bodom is already enough for one energy plant like this, but I see it serves as a power-up for a lot of cities, so yeah. 8 days before the purge, Kujata detected a pulseless sea presence near the plant and took emergency defensive action, hoping to use a human instrument to search out the enemy Lassie. The Foul Sea branded Saz's son, Daj, who had wandered into the facility, turning the boy into a Sanctum Lassie. Okay, we technically know that pretty well right now. Yeah, let's go to people right now. We got Saz Casroy. I'm not exactly sure if we got anything new, but it says something is new. Let's just briefly go through. So he's a pilot, we know that. He's been raising a son alone since the untimely passing of his wife almost 3 years ago. Okay, 3 years ago his wife passed away. Oh yeah. His son Daj became a Sanctum Lassie during the Uriday Gorge accident. Without a clear focus, the little boy will eventually turn into a monstrous thief. I wonder what a baby thief could look like. I mean, it's kind of monstrous of me to ask such a question, but still, isn't that curious? Guessing that Daj's task could be to destroy beings from Pulse, Saz boards the Purge train as part of a plan to take care of the Foul Sea himself. His self-appointed mission ends with him becoming a Pulse Lassie, an existence that puts him into conflict with his son's status as a Sanctum servant. Okay, this is kind of updated information about Saz, and we got Daj right now, absolutely new right here. Daj is a boy who loves his father and chocobos unconditionally. Though his mother passed away 3 years ago, he remains a cheerful and energetic child. Because he's small, all children at that age tend to be really cheerful and energetic. It is so nice and so cute. When Saz tells him out of his sight when Saz lets him, not tells him, sorry, there's like a critical mistake here. Oh my god, tells him out. When Saz lets him out of his sight for a moment during a trip to the energy plant, Daj is caught up in a pulse incident that leaves him a sanctum lessee. Now, with the ability to sense power of pulse origin, the little boy involuntarily discovers the fal'Cie Bodom vestige. With his focus still unknown, Saz faces eventual transformation into Seath. I guess his focus will be revealed anyway. Children cannot be left hopeless. Oh yeah, I was exactly correct. That lady is called Colonel Nabat, Jill Nabat. Oh, she's kind of cute. Oh, she's really beautiful for a lady, I guess, for Japanese style lady. According to the style of her painting, she's supposed to be beautiful, I guess. At least this is the way she is presented to us, and she's supposedly a lady bearing some power, because she's kind of colonel and she's a government official watching over secret technologies, and if she is involved in l'Cie kind of discovery business, then isn't she supposed to be a member of some secret research lab or something? I guess not all the government officials are in any way allowed for any type of information on l'Cie and the mechanics of the appearance of l'Cie and disappearance of l'Cie, I guess. I bet that l'Cie, fal'Cie related information is highly classified, so... Jill Nabat is a PsyCom officer who graduated at the head of her class and attained the rank of colonel with unprecedented speed. My poor tongue. Yep, I see that she is kind of smart as well. Or is that supposed to be told to us? I never call the guys who learn perfectly the smart ones. There are lots of smart guys from among the guys who learn perfectly, but you know what? Chances are, especially in Russia, of course it's not supposed to be compared to Russia in any way, but I'm just sharing my experience with you. It is happening in here a lot that you get like all the highest marks all the time at school, and after leaving school you just realize, hey, I cannot do anything without having a proper task for it. And if I get to choosing something, oh my god, nobody has given me any assignment and I cannot do anything. Because no one is going to evaluate my future efforts. I'm supposed to evaluate my future efforts. My god, I don't know what to do. But something tells me that Nabat is not among such people. As a supervisor in charge of the investigation at Uriday Gorge, as well as Daj's testing after the boy became a sanctum lessee, Jill is well acquainted with Saz. I see, that's pretty much evident. She's been tracking Saz and Dodge ever since the accident and incident in Uriday Gorge. She lent an ear to the distraught father and listened to all his fears and doubts. This is the least she could do, I think. Oops, we have missed something else, I guess. Oh, Chocobo Chick. Something new about the Chocobo Chick. Saz purchased this chocobo chick at the stall in Yuride Gorge for his son, Dodge. Oh yeah, so this Yuride Gorge place does have the infrastructure. And this is some sort of evidence, so there is the set of facilities for tourists, I guess. However, while his attention was in the transaction, Dodge ran into Yuride Gorge plan and headlong into the incident that changed him into a Sanctum Lassie. Okay, this is not an information about Chocobo Chick. Oh, I repeat that right now. Okay, I'm pretty much used to the habit of this data log thing to repeat the known information from one article to another, but this has no relation to that, right? This has nothing to do with chocobos, I think. And I want to know about chocobos and their cuteness. Though boy and chick have met only once during the brief visit Saz was allowed by Psycom and Bodum, they became fast friends. Dodge is trying to decide on what he wants to call the chick, but for now the chocobo remains nameless. Aww, isn't that too bad? Oh, I guess we can also view the local guys. I haven't been viewing those for such a long time. The beacon seems to be unknown to me right now. In terms of soldiers, we got Corps Regular and Corps Watchman. I've not been actually watching too much about those. Weak to fire and water. And this one immune to fire, but still. No, not water. Sorry, it's not water. It's weakness to frost, I guess. Golems. Oh yeah, this is the very dangerous thing that killed me once. Erlan. That is weak against lightning and water. Good to know. Normally, the weaknesses remain the same. This Velocycle from Chapter 5. Not really peculiar about anything. It's just a resilient enemy. Thexteron. I've killed a bunch of these. Not really that much to talk about. Vespid. Also, I am just basically browsing through all of this for any interest type of monsters that I could potentially bear in mind for the future. We got Gremlins and Garchimeceras. Yeah, something like that. Incubi and Succubi that don't literally look remotely like either of these demons. Now, they're supposed to be sexy, both of them, I guess. Since they are... Incubus is a male demon which is centered all around seducing women. And Succubus is a female demon that is centered around sexually seducing men. Both representatives of promiscuity sin thing. So, what are these monsters supposed to convey the idea of? A weird owl kind of guy with blanket instead of wings? Half mechanical? I have always been fascinated by the Japanese guy's imagination. Scale beast. Pretty resilient, but nothing peculiar. Wyverns, and that's the first wyvern I have come across. And I'm also guessing that the features of that wyvern, yeah, capable of inflicting deprotect and susceptible to poison. If memory serves, those features are also the characteristic of the Chapter 6 boss fight. So, this is why it was essential to attack at least a couple of those wyverns and get to know what they are capable of before taking on the boss, because these creatures exactly are supposed to teach the player of how to, take on the boss itself. When I was going for that game for the very first time, of course I didn't have any idea of that. I decided to engage one of those potential foes and I have seen how strong they are, and I decided, nay, I'd rather refrain attacking those wyverns anyway. And of course I didn't get the 5-star rating on the boss, so let's see now if my memory is correct. Those bosses of Chapter 6 are going to have this deprotect and susceptible to poison features, which I am definitely going to use against them. So we also get Flandragora, weak to fire, not really anything interesting. And the Feral Behemoth, weak against water, but not really peculiar again. Pretty much easy to kill the creature if you utilize just merely the dual casting and slash and burn tactic. And technically that's all. We got Pulse Automata. The soldiers, pretty hilarious, and bombs too. And armaments. Yeah, the Dreadnought looks pretty ferocious. And I still can't understand why I got the 4-star rating for that boss fight. But still, probably because you cannot actually poison it. You see, up there in status immunities, you cannot poison it. Actually, anyway, what is poisonable in here? It's entirely automatic. And finally, others. We got Eidolons. Oh yeah, we haven't seen Odin's features. It cannot be poisoned. It cannot be... What are those? So you cannot... I think he's absolutely immune to physical attacks, disabling spells, and magical attacks disabling spells, as well as he's absolutely immune to slow effects. And among his features, we only know what he is yielding to, and we don't really know about his battle features and anything about that. So here we go. It pretty much covered everything at that point. I'm not interested in looking through the inventory, because it is going to be during the last chapters, as I have already said plenty of times. And Vanille is probably getting bored. Yeah, dear Saz and Vanille, I can definitely promise to you that very soon, right after this little picnic with a lot of reading here, we are going to be... Oh my god, I've been talking for so long that my throat is kind of sore a little bit. Probably I'm doing it too loud. Okay, anyway, you're not telling anything to me, so everything is alright. Vanille also agrees, right? Yay! So, we'll be seeing you next time when I, together with Saz and Vanille, will be taking on the boss of the 6th chapter. See you around. Zauberhaft signing out.